because you're going to be faster than YouTube.
Yeah.
And I believe we're live. Hello, everybody. Bang on time, 7 o'clock. I see Kajan's in the chat, Peter Hampson's in the chat, and Giovanni might still be here. Giovanni said hello earlier. We've got a special guest tonight on the stream, which is Darth Bob from Darth Bob Miniatures. You want to say hi, Darth Bob?
Hey guys, what's going on?
So let us know if you can hear Darth Bob, because he's kind of across the way from my mic, and I can fix that. Yeah, so glad to have him on the stream tonight because he is another Tyranid artist. If you haven't checked out his stuff, it's Darth Bob Miniatures, all one word, right? Your
Yep,
Instagram. So
that's correct.
you should check out his Instagram, Darth Bob Miniatures, all one word. And I realized that he was the real deal when he posted up that he was making a dominatrix from a Tyranid hair duel. So anyone who takes that on is the real deal, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, well, I mean, you were kind of one of the people who motivated my love with Tyranid, so it's
Sweet,
definitely great to be on here.
awesome. Always happy to get more people loving Tyranids. Yeah. So thanks so much for coming on and helping out. And also, how are things going on the talent horror that you're doing?
Great. Just for like the past, like since I worked on it last, I haven't really done any more work. My hobby space is like a complete disaster, and I'm kind of like obsessive compulsive with having to have a clean space when I'm working on stuff. So
Your
right
pictures are
now, I'm just
always
taking
so
my time to
clean. Like
clean off everything.
your hobby space looks immaculate when you post pictures of it.
I know that was post cleaning.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Everything looks perfectly clean in the pictures because on the other sides of the frame there's like stacks of boxes,
Yeah.
screws, sand, and flocking everywhere.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm very lucky to have like a large hobby space in our garage.
Mm.
Except for I keep telling myself I'm gonna stop calling it the garage and start calling it the studio. But it hasn't
The studio.
the studio. It hasn't really caught on yet. But the problem with having a large hobby space is that you have a larger area to span your crap across.
Yeah,
So
that's what I've learned in this.
yeah, this here is like my sitting desk where I usually do the stream. But when we did the overhead stream with the big picture of hell, that was my
Mm.
standing workbench thing, and it's just covered in crap right now that I don't want to deal with.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the entire underside of my desk right now is just like covered in bags of miniatures and sprues that I have to go through since the move. Some of them I know what it is, and some of them, or a lot of them, I don't know what it is, which is, I think a reality for a lot of hobbyists. They just buy stuff and then they forget they have it.
True. Yeah. I regularly dig out crap that I didn't know I had. Oh, Blitz Mechanica just showed up. Welcome, Blitz. Force Sprite,
Yes.
welcome. Force Sprite for you. I'm drinking tea tonight, not beer, because Saturday is Hydra's birthday. So if anyone wants to score Tyranid nerd points, you can wish Hydra happy birthday on Saturday. But since
Yeah,
it's
I wanted to do something for his birthday
do it.
contest thing he's doing, but I just don't have the time.
Oh, what is he doing? What's his birthday thing?
He's doing like some like I forget the actual like parameters of it, but I know he's like doing. He was saying that his birthday falls on the 28.
Oh, Ink 28. Yeah.
So I think he was doing some like asking people to like send in like submissions. I don't know what the rules were.
They're probably pretty random if I know Hydra. But like
Yeah,
because it's all COVID and stuff, and like he can't have a birthday, so he's trying this like online Zoom birthday thing. So he's invited some of us, but his buddy in Germany has put together a list of beers that I have to drink in Canada while I'm on Zoom with them at 2 p.m. So I'm planning to get licked on Saturday, so I got to drink tea now to prepare for that.
Oh, so okay, so the contest is just he's asking people to tag hashtag Hydra's birthday 28 to whatever they post for the Ink 28th post, and then
Oh,
I guess he's gonna select somebody, and then he said he's gonna send the winner a parcel, maybe models, maybe hobby tools. It's just something.
He'll send you
So
good shit.
she's
He'll send you
pretty
some good shit.
generous to be giving somebody else something for your birthday.
It's the Hobbit way, right?
Sorry, say again?
That's what the hobbits do. That's what Bilbo does on his birthday. He gives everyone else
Oh,
gifts.
yeah.
But we got some more people in the chat. So Rhesus for breakfast. I don't know Rhesus for
Oh, wow.
breakfast.
Just good.
Is that how you spell? Like, is that like a Rhesus monkey? Like, I don't. Okay, hi Rhesus for breakfast. I don't think we've seen you in the chat before. Welcome. We got Blitz. We got Forest Bright, Kajan. Hello, hello. Peter Hampson's here. Hello, hello. And I think that's all of us. Are you in the chat too? Well, I guess you must see the chat if you're going to be.
Yeah, I see it now.
Okay, cool. All right. So, what are other folks working on? You can post that in the chat. Let us know. Laurentian
Laurentian
Abyss.
Abyss.
Why does that sound...
Rhesus.
Am I following Laurentian Abyss? Let's check that out.
He's got great stuff. I love his stuff.
Well, then I should be following him. Laurentian...
He does some really creepy, like, kind of grimdark gothic stuff.
Oh, damn, I'm not Oh, damn. Oh my. Oh, I say. This is some damn cool stuff. Particularly that weird hunter-killer robot thing. Damn. Okay, I'm following. Laurentian Abyss, I'm so glad you showed up, because you got some good bits on your Instagram there. Holy cow. You've only been Instagramming since March? Good work. Great work.
Kajan was asking what we're supposed to do for Hydra's birthday on the 28th. Kajan, his on his Instagram, he just posted to tag, I think it's hashtag Hydra's birthday 28th on whatever your Inc. 28th post is. And he's going to pick like a winner on December 1st and send them something.
Yeah, so if you're posting anyway, you might as well. Charlie Gray. Hi, Charlie Gray. You're pretty much on time. Welcome. Yes, speaking of the Crab Boy. So here's the Crab Boy. This is, actually it's Crab Girl. So this is Hell. Otherwise known as Old One Eye. My version of Old One Eye. And as you can see, we got this fancy picture here of what she's supposed to look like when she's done. So we've been working away on her. Oh God, what have I done? There we go. We've been working away on her for a few weeks now. And this week I finally got started on doing an arm for her. So I thought y'all might find it interesting. Like I've done a video about... Oh, Tony Rask is here. Welcome, buddy. Good to see you. I did a video before about working with armatures on that weird tentacly guy I did. But here's another, I guess, armature review. Slightly different kind of armature. So because this claw is so big, and I want to make it completely from scratch, what I wanted to do is I wanted to make like a form for it out of plasticard, and then sculpt onto the plasticard so that I have like a rough shape for it. And I just kind of like bulk it out. So to figure it out, what I did is I created a paper prototype. So that's what you see here. This is just pieces of paper that I chopped up.
It looks good. The shape looks perfect to the art.
Yeah, it's pretty close to the art. I wonder if there's a better way I can array this. I don't know. Yeah, you can see it there. So it's pretty close. And this was just like, what I did is I went on that big drawing that I have over on the wall, and I measured the diameter of the carapace, like side to side, and then I measured the diameter of the claw, and I realized that the claw is only supposed to be slightly smaller than the carapace. So I kind of like lined that up. I don't know if it exactly fits or if I made it slightly too big, but yeah. And then I got like a rough shape for the arm from the picture, and then what I did is I traced it onto plasticard. And this is like pretty thick plasticard. I don't know what gauge it is. I don't measure anything. I just kind of like grab the thickest plasticard I have. So it's pretty robust, but if I were to just sculpt it on plasticard, and then it could well break. So the next step I did was I took a section of, this is like pretty thick gauge brass rod. Hold on a sec. Where's the light? There we go. Oh no, wait. Pretty thick gauge brass rod, and I bent it to the rough shape of what the arm's going to be, and then I glued it down with a bunch of super glue. And because I'm not fancy, I did the old. I don't know if you know this trick, but if you don't have like stuff for quick setting super glue, and you got a whole bunch of super glue, all you have to do is just like dunk it in some water, and it probably makes the super glue not as strong or whatever, but it sets it immediately. So that's what I did here. So I don't know if you can see that, but it's kind of like bubbly. Oh, now you can see it. It's got this weird.
Yeah, I can kind of see that.
Yeah, another way to do it is baking soda. A lot of people use baking soda to set their super glue and make this kind of like
I have heard of that. I haven't heard of the water thing.
thick thing. Well, the water thing, someone told me because if you have like a little bit of super glue in something and you blow on it, the humidity in your mouth causes it to set.
And I always thought it was just like air drying.
Yeah, me too. But like it'll set. Sorry, it'll set faster if you put humidity on it. So yeah, dunking it in water sets it like immediately. But I don't know if it's good for the super glue. So yeah, so I super glued this thing on, and then the problem is that super glue is not infallible. So if I'd super glued this wire to this piece of plastic card, and I like flexed the plastic card, I could probably pop that piece of wire off. Like the super glue wouldn't be enough to hold it on there. So I drilled some holes and I got some thinner pieces of wire and I threaded them through the holes and kind of wound them up on the back to a little bit to hold it in place, but also to give the putty more stuff to like grip onto. Because if you just put putty on like flat plastic card, it's not going to grip that well. In fact, I should probably score this a bit to give the putty more stuff. Ow, Christ, don't stab. Oh God, I just stabbed myself. Look at that. Apparently wire is sharp. God damn.
We got a bunch of people saying stuff in the
Oh
chat.
shit, yeah, what's going on in the chat? We should probably catch up with that.
It says he's still working on his red tear, on the sides for his red tear. I'm really looking forward to seeing that, because I remember him talking about that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Peter Hampson says, at the moment I'm working on packing all my stuff up for upcoming move out. Good luck with that. So no modeling time, but he's been trying to keep the Tyranid mojo flowing in 2D though, hence the doodles on Instagram.
Oh yeah, he's got all those good drawings.
Blitz Mechanica says, looks to be 50 though. I'm not sure what that was in reference to.
Yeah, I
didn't
don't know.
catch that.
Higher up, maybe? I don't know. Let's see what else is going on. Yeah, sweet.
No, it must have been some reference to something we were saying, maybe.
Yeah.
I am Charlie Gray says he's working on Zoanthropes and a Ravener.
Oh, nice.
Hutch is in the chat now.
Hey, Hutch, welcome, man.
Looking forward to seeing that big ass claw to life. Blitz Mechanica says baking soda adds strength. You can drill or tap it when it's hard.
Well, that's good. That's good to know.
Mark says, looks sweet, Mr. Pink.
Hey, Mark, welcome.
Crafting Troll joined the chat.
Welcome, Crafting Troll. I don't know if we've seen Crafting Troll before.
I don't remember seeing his name before.
If this is your first time on the stream, Crafting Troll, welcome.
Yeah. Says, I like the size of the claws. Kaja says, today we've drawn blood on the stream. After you poked yourself.
Yep. Peter Hampson says I should super glue the wound. That is... Did you know that's how super glue was invented? Apparently, I don't know if this is true, but the myth is that it was invented in the Second World War to close wounds because it reacts with the water in your blood, but I don't know if that's good for your bloodstream to get super glue in it.
I've used super glue to seal up wounds on the job site before.
Nice.
Tony Rass says, I just finished my Nurgle Centaur, which was started
nice.
for Ex-Profundus Monster Challenge 3 years ago. I know that feel, Tony.
Oh, I know that feeling.
I think my Dominatrix conversion has been on the cutting board for like a decade at this point. So.
A decade? Really? You started that long ago?
Yeah, man. I got that Curadol at Games Day 2010 in Baltimore.
Holy crap. Well, that's that's indicative because they don't have games days in the United States anymore.
Yeah, I think that was actually... I don't know if it was the last
That was probably the last
one.
one.
One of the last ones they had in the States.
I think the last Toronto one was 2009 or maybe 2010. I don't know.
So yeah, that would line up.
Nice. So you've had that for a while. Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Well, whatever. Getting to it now.
Yeah, eventually I'll get to it.
Hey man, I've been meaning to make this hell conversion since like I made my last one, so that's like 2004 or something.
Oh wow. But I like to think that now my skill level has gotten
Exactly.
that I'm happy with the conversion.
Exactly. It's better to do it now that you're a pro.
I don't know about that, but
More of a pro?
more of a pro. Pro-ish. Let's see. Reese's for breakfast says I'm laid up on the couch right now. Need to make a table to work from.
Are you sick? You haven't got that corona, have you, Rhesus? That would be bad.
Yeah, I hope not. I just got tested.
Oh yeah,
That
you're
was
safe.
not a fun experience.
No, is that the thing where they like shove it right into your sinus?
Yeah, I felt like they were probing my brain. It was awful.
Oh god. I've got a
It's very brief, but it kind of, if you've ever gotten like water in your nose,
yeah.
like when you're like in a pool or something,
Yep.
that's kind of what it feels like, but more prolonged.
Oh, fun. Yeah, because I hear they like put it in there and they really like wipe it around.
Yeah, it's not, it wasn't an enjoyable experience.
Jesus.
He got hit by a, oh, okay, so I'm skipping a couple comments here, but it just came up. He says he got hit by a car.
Oh no! God, it's horrible. Well, I'm glad you're...
And you still came out to the stream.
Yeah, I know. Well, I guess he's got nothing else to do. I hope you're okay. I hope it wasn't too severe. Okay.
Kajan says with the, I guess in reference to the super glue being bad for your blood, he says since you bleed in order to clean the wound, you don't need to worry about it getting into your bloodstream.
All right, that's good. I just thought about like having super glue crystals flowing around in my bloodstream, and that probably is not a good thing.
And Mark says super glue contains cyanide. Is that true?
Well, it's cyanacrylate.
Yeah, it's cyanacrylate. So
yeah.
maybe.
Well, then I hope it better not go in your blood, because that's not good. I never thought about that before. Yeah, because it's cyanacrylate, but I guess that's cyanide. Ugh. Tom Wilson, welcome. Good evening. Just this week, I found the top half of the body of a screamer killer. Whoa! I was making using Modern Synthesis blog. Whoa! Nice. You should definitely do it. Tom Wilson, get on that screamer killer.
Screamer killers are the best.
Yes.
I love the I love the 4th edition Carnifex kit, but I do kind of wish it would have resembled the Screamer Killer closer. I get they wanted to kind of go with the more traditional Tyranid look that they started to go with, and the Screamer Killer was kind of unique in its look compared to the rest of the army, but I really like the old Screamer Killer look.
I feel like when you look at this sketch of Hell, or of this old One Eye or whatever, I feel like this was maybe the Screamer Killer evolved, because it doesn't have a lot of the hallmarks of current Tyranid design. Like, if you look at the arms and the legs, it doesn't have those, like, vascular windows. It's got that weird crotch piece that I feel like the Screamer Killer had. I mean, the scything talons, they're a little more Screamer Killer-y. I think the Screamer Killer had those kind of vents on the talons.
The kind of almost conical shape of the upper body, too, and kind of how the head kind of extends back almost into like that kind of dome-ish.
Yeah, and then it's got those vents on the back, which are kind of like the old Screamer Killer did have the vascular structures on its back. But, yeah. Oh, man. So I'm a big fan of Aves and, like, epoxy glue, epoxy putty and all that, but I got this package of epoxy fix-it, and it had these like rough bits in it, and I've had rough bits in my epoxy sculpt before, and I'm just like, oh, whatever, you just like blend them in and they'll be fine. But this has got like nuggets in it. It's gross.
Oh yeah, I hate when that happens with my greasy stuff, when I accidentally forget to cut the middle part out.
Yeah, it's not good.
Where it like connects. It's awful.
So I'm just right now I'm just covering up. Oh, I was just gonna say I'm just covering up these things so I don't stab myself in the finger again with some fix-it to reinforce it. Yeah.
This isn't a corn conversion, so we don't want to draw too much blood.
No, definitely not.
This for breakfast was saying, he said the shifter on his bike went 4 inches into his knee and I've been dealing
Oh,
with infections. How is that not too bad?
that sounds pretty bad to me.
Great reference material for a Nurgle army, though, it says.
Oh, gross. That's horrible,
Yeah.
man.
He also says a modernized Screamer Killer would be sick. I agree. I Am Charlie Gray says... Oh, he said that it's not going to be an issue. Cyanoacrylate is still used for some. So I guess the cyanide in it, if there is cyanide, it's not, like, concentrated enough or whatever.
Well, it's also the case that if super glue solidifies as soon as you dip it in water, what's going to happen when it hits your saliva?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I know it could probably still, I don't know, maybe the crystals get in there, but I don't know, hopefully it's kind of renders it sort of
Please
inert.
note, chat, that Mr. Pink does not endorse eating superglue.
No, do not eat super glue, please.
Kajan says ethyl cyanoacrylate is only mildly toxic. It's not like cyanide, so yeah.
So it's in
so
there,
it
but it's
wouldn't
not
use
horrible.
superglue on a wound. Well, yeah, I guess I'm not smart then.
What? You can use super glue on a wound, can't you?
I've done it before.
And that's how it was
But
developed.
it's probably not the ideal.
Oh. I don't know. I thought that's how people told me that's how it was developed or what it was developed for in the war to seal wounds immediately.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's like an old wives' tale or not.
Yeah.
But it sounds like it could be true.
Well, I've used it on my wounds, for good or ill.
Yeah, I have to. Peter Hampson says, I wish Forge World would do a Screamer Killer style kit as a Carnifex Plus like they did with the Contemptor for the Dreadnought base on the old Dreadnoughts.
Oh, like a
That is kind of a good idea. So
like a modification bit that you
expansion kit.
Oh, cool. That would be a good idea.
I don't know if you'd maybe have to do like a completely new torso though. Like I don't know how much of the like original Carnifex kit you could really use.
It's also
body shape is so different.
The case, yeah, it's like pretty bent over. So you could give it like the original legs and maybe the like section that goes towards the torso, but you'd need to like set up the kit in such a way that like because that section between the tail and the rib cage bends forward, you need to modify the torso so that it kind of like sat back up so it was more upright. But I don't know.
Maybe do different legs too. If you could somehow get other legs that oriented differently.
That'd be nice.
That would just be nice in general. That's the one complaint I have about the Carnifex kit is how hunched over it is.
Yeah, it's really hunched over. And I'm not crazy about that. Like, people have found ways to get it more upright, but I feel like it always looks a little awkward. Just because it wasn't designed
looks like
to...
it's kind of super top heavy.
Yeah. I think just because it wasn't designed to be that upright.
Brian Naisbitt, I think I'm pronouncing that correct, joined the chat. He said, evening all. Not on for long, just wanted to catch a bit of the stream before bed and say hi.
Oh, welcome, Brian. Oh, yeah, Brian was here last week, I remember.
Recess for Breakfast says, the Forge World Crushing Claws from a while ago are going in that direction. So I guess in the direction maybe of the claws you're building.
Man, those Crushing Claws are nice. Those Forge World ones. I've been a big fan of those for a long time.
Kashan says, can we sniff super glue? Yeah, man, go for it.
You could try. Although, wait, no, because I don't know, I feel like it might, like, solidify in your nostrils, because humidity and whatnot, but I don't know if it'll even get that far.
Kasha, why don't you try and tell us
Oh, God. I do not endorse sniffing super glue. So yeah, for anyone who missed it earlier on, I cut the rough shape for the claw out of thick gauge plasticard, and I've reinforced it on one side with a brass rod, which I've tied on with like strips of thin wire, and I bound, like I kind of twisted the wire together on the other side, and I've gone and stabbed myself in the finger with it. So now I'm just covering it up with some epoxy Fix-It, because I feel like of the epoxies, the Fix-It is the one that's most like sticky. And it's also the one that's it's least brittle out of all of them. So I figured it was a pretty good base material to reinforce the claw / grab onto the bits of wire sticking through. So that's the exciting stuff we're doing today. And then you can see on how, like, since the last time, I've expanded her inner thighs just because the angle on them wasn't close enough to the sketch, and I didn't want to like take the legs off and redo them. So I just decided to like add some additional mass to the inside of the thighs, and I think it kind of works. The only thing I've realized... What's that?
I said I see you took the spikes off too.
Oh yeah, I have this thing where I don't like spikes on Tyranids. I feel like they're just kind of random. And also, like, with how hunched over she is, like, her rib cage is right here, and like her legs are right here, and if it's got big spikes on it and then she like hunched down into the spikes, it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
I kind of like it on the high tyrant, but I kind of tend to agree on those bugs. I don't really like the spikes. Lictors, it works too, I think.
Yep, I agree. I mean, I don't hate them or anything. Like, I don't judge them on anyone else's Tyranids. For me, I've always trimmed them off. I'm not really sure why. But yeah, I feel like on a Lictor it makes a little more sense because it's kind of like a spiky critter.
Yeah. You should have Fenrir be like just covered in spikes.
The one, take all the spikes from all the other ones and just like slap it on there. Oh man, Darth Bob, I was thinking about our talk about a possible Carnifex collaboration situation. And with the whole, like, your idea about like super flesh hooks, I was picturing like, I had this crazy idea of oh god, I've got bits of plastic art everywhere. I was picturing like kind of like a scything talon thing that like came up, like maybe the upper set of arms is something else, but it would like, you know, the arms on the Turvagon that have the, or is it the Tyranifex? The weird ones with like the flesh borer hive that are like the long...
Yes, I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so picture something like that, but instead of it... So I'm going to grab this... Well, I guess you can't see this because you're like delayed, but if you picture a Carnifex's... Yeah, if you picture like a Carnifex's scything talon, it's got 3 sections. So it's got like the forearm... it's got the upper arm, the forearm, and then the talon, and it forms this kind of Z. And when you're talking about a Tyranifex, that or whatever it is, Turvagon, that flesh borer hive, it's mounted where like a scything talon would be. It's mounted on like the top part of the Z of the arm.
I know what you mean.
So it's kind of like this awkward thing where like it's pointing down like it's a scything talon, and the weapon is on like the top surface of the scything talon. But what if the whatever it is, borer hive or giant flesh hook launching thing was mounted on the bottom of the forearm, so in the middle part of the Z, so that it would like the bicep would kind of like stick out, and then the forearm would like stick up like along the creature's body, and then on top it could have like a whippy kind of grabby arm thing, so it could like flick its arm up and expose these launchers on the bottom of its forearm, which would be like vertical kind of when it's deploying them, and then they would all fire out and grab something in, and then the thing on top that's normally like a scything talon, it would kind of like picture it like a Lictor talon, but more like the
so it clamped down almost like like a carnivorous plant.
Yeah, so like the Death Leaper, on the end of Death Leaper's claws, talons, he's got like a claw, like fingers on the end. So it would fire out the, like, oh, I guess the Lictor is probably a better place to show this. Hold on, I'm going to switch the view on the video. Where are we?
I can see it, yeah.
I'm just going to go close up. So, where's my indicator? So, you'd have, like, this section of the Lictor arm, that's these like spikes that are pointing out, those would be the like impaler spikes or whatever that would shoot out, and then this thing would kind of whip back to get out of the way, they'd shoot out, and then they'd start dragging something in, and then this thing would like come down and like kind of finish the job and reel it right in. It could be a big spike right here for impaling guys on. Anyway, so I'm picturing like a giant version of the Lictor Claw, but possibly mounted in like the lower, like let's use Hell as an example, possibly mounted in like the lower position, like not the hot. There's like the upper mount and the lower mount, and it would
Oh,
like,
like the lower arm
yeah, it
sockets.
would come out and it would like go up like beside the head, and then the claw would come out over top. So when it was deploying these I don't know, impaler blasters, they would be kind of alongside the face, and that's where everything would shoot out from. And then the Lictor Talon thing would be on top. So looking at it from the front, the two like I'm actually picturing them like anime missile pods or whatever on either side of the creature's head. So like here and here, and then it would fire out all these like giant flesh hooks, reel the thing in. So like the thing's coming right towards the creature's mouth because why else would it drag you in? And then like the
Yeah.
the things on top would just kind of like anyway clamp on. So I've been giving it some thought, and I'm getting kind of excited about the possibilities.
Yeah, that all sounds really, really cool. Yeah, I don't know. Flesh hooks are just one of those like kind of understated Tyranid things. Like you don't really hear about them that often, and you have the kind of the Lictor models. They have them like buried in the chest, and then you've got the kind of crappy ones that come on the warrior sprues.
Which are I'd say those ones are fine, but they're not interesting. Like they're not different. They're not weird. They're not.
Yeah, and they don't really look. They don't really, I think, fulfill the fantasy of like these long, bound up, I guess, tendons with spikes
Muscles, yeah.
shooting out of the chest.
Yeah, true.
And I just think they're such a cool idea because it's just like it's so alien.
Yep. There's
Like,
more like
it's
cool.
almost like a frog tongue, but it's buried in its chest and has a spike at the end. I just think it's really cool.
Yo, if anyone is interested in flesh hooks and they want some cool like comparators for flesh hooks in the real world, I only learned about this recently. Do people know about dragonfly nymphs? Because like if you look up a dragonfly nymph, it has this thing, and I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called a labium, and it's basically the bottom of the dragonfly nymph's jaw, and it's on this like arm, and it like reaches out and grabs stuff and pulls it into its mouth. It's the most Tyranid thing I've ever seen.
That might be a good design.
Yeah, it would definitely be good for Tyranids.
Carnifex.
Yep.
Let me catch up on some of the comments here.
Sure.
Way behind. I tried to keep my spot. Here we go. Oh, Peter Hamster was saying he meant a new model for the Screamer Killer. Kind of like how the Contemptor was an update of the old Rogue Trader Dreadnought. That's kind of like a
Okay.
better Dreadnought. I'd be totally for that, especially because if it's like the Contemptor, it would mean they'd release like 60 different versions of it.
Those are Space Marines. Those numbers don't apply to Tyranids. Come on.
True. Let's see. Mark said, well, if it was developed in that era, they used to use mercury. Okay, so we're still talking about super glue.
Super glue, nice. It's an important topic.
Yeah, Peter Hamster was basically saying that he wants one that homages the classic Screamer Killer but brings it into scale with the main Tyranid line. So basically Hell but mass-produced. He says he wants one for himself.
That'd be fun.
I can't blame him. This conversion's looking incredible.
Well, it's pretty, like, if people want to try it themselves, it's kind of straightforward.
Yeah, I was kind of looking at it, and I mean,
so
you always say that when you look at it, but it doesn't look too extreme. There's not a lot of scratch sculpting involved.
Yeah, so the key piece is the carapace, which is a harpy carapace, except for where a harpy carapace would normally go together along these lines. I flipped it, and instead of the harpy carapace, which is kind of like curved like this, I flattened it out and left this gap in the middle. So that's that carapace, and then this is where the like spore vents are going to go, or whatever, my toxic miasma vents, except for I'm going to realign them to make them more kind of central. This is a Toxicrin Carapace, but again, it would normally go together along this line, and I just flipped it and put together along the line where the Carapace would normally attach. However, I did a Toxicrin Carapace for this, and I think when I'm going to do another one of these, and I think when I do the next one, I'm going to try to just use instead of using the Toxicrin chest, I'm going to try just using the Harpy chest so that you could use the Harpy for this and the Harpy for this. I think it'll work. These bits here are from the Harpy. I just cut them and reposition them. So I think I could cut down a Harpy torso and make it into this kind of carapace shape. It wouldn't have like these like neat things along it, and the holes might be slightly different, but I could fix those up. So there's that, and then the waist is off of a Toxicrin, but you could probably use the Harpy one. The Harpy one is slightly shorter, but you could modify it and maybe use some of the tail section. The legs are straight Turvagon legs. For some reason, I took the hooves off of the Toxicrin and put them on here, but you could use Turvagon hooves. It would probably be fine. In fact, I'm going to increase the size of the hooves anyway. Yeah, so this is a Tyranifex Turvagon leg. Unmodified here, this section. I cut it down here to make it shorter because it's really very long and it would be kind of gangly. And then you could use the bottom section of the Turvagon leg. In fact, I'll probably do that on the next one. Here, again, I used the Toxicrin. Again, I don't know why, but I cut there on the Toxicrin thing, extended it, and yeah. And then the head is one of the Harpy heads, because the Harpy is a really amazing kit. I didn't realize how good it is and like the bits in it and stuff. The heads are amazing on it. They're really good. So
I really like the Harpy kit.
Yeah.
The thing I don't like about the Harpy kit is the wings. I think the wings are a little too small.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Harpy kit is a really good bits box for Tyranids. I don't love the Harpy as designed because it looks big and chunky.
I've seen some people like just put the wings from the Hive Tyrant on the Harpy torso.
That worked?
And it actually, I think, makes the model look a lot better.
That's really strange that the Tyrant would have bigger wings than the Harpy.
It is. It is.
Wow, okay.
Because it's a much bigger model.
Really? Than the Harpy? The Harpy's huge.
That's what I mean. That the Harpy is a
much bigger right. Model. Okay. I thought you meant the Tyrant was a bigger model.
Smaller wings. Or bigger
gotcha.
Wings.
So as I'm kind of like thickening up this claw... Oh, hold on. It's super bright, isn't it? I'm kind of working in the shape of it up front, but I don't... You'll notice back here there's no real shape because I'm not really sure how to shape the back of it. But, I don't know. Right now I'm just bulking it up so I don't have to really worry about getting the sculpting too good, but as much as possible, if I can introduce the shapes I want at this stage, I think it's a good time to do it because I'm going to put subsequent layers of putty on here, but might as well get a good base shape. I'm not getting too close to the edge here because if you look at the picture of Hell, there's like these weird kind of... Oh, I'll turn this back on.
Barnacles.
Yeah, there's the barnacles, certainly, but then there's also these like along the top edge. It's kind of like what you get on the oh, not on that carapace, but like on the back of like a Carnifex tail. You got like they look almost like the toxic miasma chimneys, but in micro size. So there's a bit of that going on. So my goal is to be able to like drill holes into the edge of it to kind of use the plastic card to make that shape.
I didn't even notice the little smoke trails coming off of there. She's got that on the.
Oh yeah, he's got holes in his claw, but he's. Yeah, it's. Anyway.
Huh. I didn't even notice that element. Let me read a couple more comments.
Yep.
I am Charlie Gray said he's got a bolt for a second, but he might already be back by now. Jade Finch.
Jade Finch, welcome. Jade Finch has been here a couple times.
Rhesus was asking, is the torso using the Black Fortress big drone? Which I guess that whole spiel about what you used answers that question.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's all Tyranid bits, so no Black Fortress bits, and yeah, it's mostly Harpy and Toxicrin bits up in there.
Daniel Charlton said, when I was younger, I had to call my mom to prove to the Games Workshop staff I wasn't buying super glue to sniff because I wasn't 16 yet.
What the hell? Are you serious? Oh my god, that's ridiculous. That's hilarious. I love
I
it.
heard of the red shirts being annoying, but I'm never quite...
Not that annoying. I love how you're like rolling up. I guess maybe because you weren't buying models from them and they were pissed. They're like, why aren't you buying models from us? You're clearly just here to sniff super glue. Was it because you were buying a lot of super glue? Did she keep like cementing it shut? And they were like, why is this kid always in here buying super glue? That's weird.
It sounds like a lot of them have heard about the dragonfly nymphs.
Yeah, the labium is
Sounded
really
very
cool.
evil.
You got to look up the labium. It's really cool. There's like a video of like on I think it's YouTube about dragonfly nymphs being evil or super amazing or something. Okay.
Kajan was saying the problem with flesh hooks is that the model has no space for it. The chest is rather overcrowded on the warriors and the lictor, and on the French guys, it looks just strange coming out of the mouth.
On the French guys? What?
French guys. I guess maybe he's referencing the horror specs.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure because those aren't flesh hooks. I don't think. Kajan, what are you?
Yeah, what are you talking about, Kajan? You sniff it. Kajan's been sniffing super glue. He asked us if he could.
Yeah, probably.
Dude's not making any sense anymore. Kajan, ease up on the super glue, buddy.
Maybe he's on his phone. They might have autocorrected.
True.
Tom Wilson was saying, yeah, that's right about the dragonfly nymphs.
Yeah, it's really cool. If anyone wants some Tyranid inspiration, check that out. Sorry, what's that?
Kajan was saying he's having trouble finding the dragonfly bit.
It's a certain kind of dragonfly nymph. If anyone can find it, if you're looking at it now, can you post the name of it in the chat? Because it's like it's a blah 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 dragonfly nymph, like a certain kind. But the thing is called a labrum or a labium. I'm pretty sure. The like actual physical structure that they use to like grab stuff. Because they live in the water when they're little?
Gene sealers.
What? Oh, gene sealers.
Gene, J-E-A-N, sealers. Ha 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 ha. Peter, I'm glad you got the joke because it was both lost on us.
So as much as I'm like, I don't know if I can really work in the detail in this layer, it's coming out pretty cool on this bottom part of the claw. Oh, wait, it's super bright.
What putty was that you said you were using?
Oh, wait, why do I still have the giant picture? Okay, sorry, guys, I have the giant picture of hell up. I'm slow. I got too into it.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even notice that. Yeah, you got
Okay.
it's drawing.
So the putty I'm using right now is, so it's epoxy, like AP, epoxy, whatever, AVES.
Right.
But it's Fix-It. So that's the, there's three main ones that I use. I use epoxy putty, epoxy clay, and it's called Fix-It Sculpt instead of epoxy Fix-It. But it's I think they say it's the one that takes the longest to cure, but it's yeah, it cures pretty hard. Like both, like normal epoxy sculpt cures hard, and then epoxy clay cures really, really hard. So much so that you can like tap it and like drill it, sand it, that kind of stuff.
That's what Tom made the dominatrix he made me out of.
He made it out of epoxy clay?
Yeah, that whole thing's made out of epoxy clay, and then it's got a core.
Are you sure? Because it looks like epoxy sculpt, the color of it, but I guess you can get clay in different colors.
He told me it was epoxy clay. Maybe he mixed it with something. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
It's heavy. That model weighs probably
It looks heavy.
12 pounds.
It must have cost him, because he's in France, right?
Yes.
So it must have cost a mint to ship that over to the States.
The shipping was something like $200.
What?
It was pretty pricey.
Just for the shipping? Good Lord. Wow.
It was in it, and it took me probably an hour just to unpack the thing.
Well, that was smart.
It was so bound up in bubble wrap.
Well
it was,
packed.
mummified.
Did it come in its own crate? So you say
Yeah, parts of it did break.
it's still broke? Well, yeah, it's not. Uh,
Yeah, I mean it was easy to fix. Like you can't even tell. The main thing, her front arm broke at the joint,
yeah,
which that was easy to fix, and it didn't like completely break off. Like just the
it
side
cracked.
portion broke around the wire armature.
Yeah,
So it was just a matter of kind of filling in the gap with glue, and it's you can't even tell it broke. And then a couple of the little antennae on her on the front of her snapped off. They were like the Moloch
yeah,
antenna, and I
yeah.
couldn't find them in the box. So what I ended up doing was just kind of smoothing the area over and just putting a little bit of green stuff over it. Honestly, I kind of like the look better
Yep.
without those antennae.
Well, they're just going to snap
Those were
off again.
actually the only parts that broke off. Overall, like for how kind of finicky some of the parts are, I was kind of surprised how little of it did break off.
Good. Yeah, if anyone has not seen this thing we're talking about, this is a crazy dominatrix that, how do you pronounce it? Papoon crafting?
Yeah, Yeah, his name is Pa, and I think his
Okay.
last name is Poon. I'm not
Oh,
sure
okay.
if anybody's French in the chat. I'm assuming it's a French last name.
Yeah, he made this amazing dominatrix for Darth Bob, and it's on Darth Bob's Instagram page, Darth Bob Miniatures. And like, I'm working on a dominatrix right now, but it is not dominatrix scale. This one is actually dominatrix scale. Like, it is massive.
Yeah, it's a massive model.
It's got a
It's
tyrant
about
chilling on its back, and it looks to scale.
Yeah, it's about as long as a Warlord Titan from Forge World is tall.
Holy cow! Yeah, so definitely go check that out on Darth Bob Miniatures profile because it's a beast.
Tom Wilson was saying, I think the guy who narrates animals in the style of Morgan Freeman did a video on the nymphs. Oh, I love that guy's videos. I'm definitely going to have to check that
What are
out.
they called? There's like a name for those stuff. Something nature, like fucking cool or something. I can't remember.
Oh, it's, I don't know, but it's true facts about the
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, that would be
My
cool.
favorite one is the owl. The owl is the best one.
I don't know if I saw the owl one. I saw the like
Oh,
duck penis
very
one,
much.
but
It's really funny.
that's the one about like duck. They did like the one on the duck penis, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that one too. Peter says it gets better. The dragonfly still has its adulthood, except flying. I like dragonflies though.
Me
Dragonflies
too.
are cool.
Yeah,
You guys have dragonflies in
we do.
Canada, don't you?
Yeah, we do. It's not that cold here. I mean, it's pretty cold, but it's not that cold.
Charlie just got back. Welcome back, Charlie. Giovanni came
Oh,
back.
Giovanni's
He
here. Hey, buddy.
said on Instagram. He was asking what the white putty was.
Oh yeah, it's. Oh, did we answer that? I guess we answered that. It's
Yeah,
epoxy fix it.
What is Fimo? I'm not familiar with Fimo.
Fimo? No, Fimo is something you bake. It's I guess they call it. Is it a polymer clay? I think it's a polymer clay. Yeah, you bake it. So it's something that kids use, or at least kids used it when I was a kid. And it comes in like squares, like square blocks, but you can work with it for a lot longer because it's one that you have to bake. But it's not like clay. Like you know how like when you're using like ceramic clay, it's like big and chunky and earthenware based kind of.
Sculpey. I hate working with Sculpey.
Uh, Fimo I'd say is more rubbery than Sculpey. Because Sculpey is not like clay, right?
No. Yeah, I guess I really haven't worked with many like traditional clays to really know the difference.
Have you ever worked with like mud clay, like the clay that you got to bake, and it's like made of earth?
Maybe once in high school making some
Yeah,
pottery, but that was a long
yeah, like
time
pottery
ago.
clay. So Fimo is
Oh
more
yeah.
akin to like epoxy in the sense that it's like a rubbery kind of putty,
Oh okay.
but you bake it. Like I guess it's closer to Sculpey, because like Sculpey is not like an earthen clay. It's like I think they call it like a polymer or something or other.
I got some right here. Extra firm gray sculpting compound. It's a compound, according to them.
Sculpting compound. Nice.
Jonas Malham joined.
Oh, that's Brother Pink.
Chat. Oh, okay. Hey, Brother Pink. He also asked, have you ever finished converting or kit bashing a model, then decided you hated it?
I feel like I have. Actually, it's not great, but I did a commission for a buddy of mine who worked at a Games Workshop here locally, and he wanted me to make him a Nurgle, like a Nurgle spawn for Blood Bowl, like Chaos Spawn Nurgleified, and I made it, and I was like, yeah, this is good, and then I finished it, and I was like, oh man, I don't really like it. I feel like I could have done so much better. It wasn't an amazing job, and he's like, oh yeah, that's cool, man, it's totally cool. Here, I'll pay you for it. I'm like, okay, but I've hated like parts of models. Like I've finished a commission and I've been like, or a conversion, and I've just been like, oh man, that one piece could have been so much better, but I'm so done with this right now. But I don't know if I've ever like hated a whole model. That one was just like, I feel like it was not that interesting or amazing.
The poor Chaos Spawn. I mean, it's a Spawn. Spawn can look like whatever.
Yeah,
Spawn
but I think you can have cool Spawn. Like, I think too
Yes.
too much Spawn is just like, oh well, this is a shitty kit anyway, so who cares?
Oh, I hate the Chaos Spawn kit.
There's
It's
cool.
great for bets, but I hate the Spawn themselves.
Yeah, there's cool bits in there. Like I discovered the little wings that I hadn't really realized were in there. Um, they're not actually wings. They're like the remains of wings, but I think they're pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I've been wanting. I have a couple of those bets. I've been wanting to use those on a Tyranid, but I'm not exactly sure where to use them.
Oops, sorry.
Let's see.
I feel like whenever Brother Pink asks questions like that, he knows the answer. Like he's like referring to a certain things that he knows I did and then he knows I hate, but like I always worry that I'm getting it wrong.
Remember.
So Brother Pink, if I'm not remembering the right one, please tell me. But I think he always accuses me of thinking that he's like planting shit and he's not.
So Kajan was asking, so Fixit is more like Milliput?
No, Milliput is garbage. Don't talk to me about Milliput. I hate Milliput.
Yeah,
Mil-
I don't like Milliput. The only time I worked with it will be the last time I ever worked with it, because I don't get the appeal.
Did you work on it? Did you use it on the Talon Horror? Because there's a bit on there that was white.
Yes. I tried it on the Talon Horror, and I was like, this is awful. Why did I ever think this was a good idea? And then I didn't touch the model again for like a month. It's just like...
Was it ultra fine white that you were using?
Yes.
Okay.
I just did not like it. It just had this weird consistency. I don't know. It was almost like maybe I didn't mix it right or something, but it was like powdery.
Yep. Nope. That's the experience I've had with it. Bits of Bark swears by it, and he talked me into using it when I was getting started on my DOM, like the more recent DOM, just because he said that it's so much stronger than green stuff. So when he combines, specifically superfine white, when he combines Milliput superfine white with green stuff, he says it's like one of like the hardest materials he's ever worked with, which I can see like the appeal of that. But in terms of like choosing putties, I feel like epoxy sculpt and green stuff just works so much better than Milliput. There's people who swear by Milliput. Like between the Bolter and me, they use Milliput like crazy.
I mean, a lot of some of my favorite hobbyists out there use Milliput.
Of course.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just really unlucky with like the Milliput I've gotten, and it was just like a bad batch or something.
No, it's weird. Like unless we both got bad batches, but it's weird. It's different. It's weird. And I think that if you grow up using it, or like grow up in the hobby kind of using it, you probably get used to it. And
that makes sense.
Like, and it is the case that like Adam Weir from Between the Bolter and Me, he talks about how good it is for doing like armor pieces because you can get like very clean flat surfaces in it.
I could see it being good for that.
So I keep meaning to like try it more for Tyranid Carapace because that's a situation where clean flat surfaces are helpful, but I just haven't because I can do it so much better in epoxy sculpt.
The guy in black that did that Hive Tyrant head that I'm putting on my Swarm one that I commissioned.
Oh yeah, that
he actually mixes his green stuff with Magic Sculpt.
Oh, okay. So Magic Sculpt is something that I've wanted to mess around with for a while, but you can't really get it in North America. It's like epoxy sculpt. Like people have told me that it's just like whether you have epoxy sculpt or whether you have Magic Sculpt, they're basically the same thing. But
yeah, because I've tried mixing green stuff with epoxy sculpt after watching your video, and it does feel basically the same. Like the finish and how hard it is and rigid it is, it basically feels like the same stuff.
oh, as this one that he did in the
Yeah.
Magic Sculpt in the okay, yeah, because epoxy sculpt is pretty hard, but like Fix It and epoxy clay are even harder. Basically. Like the finish on them. I keep meaning to do a video where I have all the putties and I like combine them and like test them out and like make like rods of them and like try and snap them and like drill them and stuff like that.
That would be a cool video.
I've actually got, where the hell are they? I've you know the whole like cooking show thing where they're like, actually I put this in the oven earlier. So these are my oven earlier bits that I did for that video that I still haven't done. So like I've got Milliput Superfine White and in a square so I can drill it. I've got, I think, yeah, I've got Need Tight green stuff in the square so I can drill it. And I've got pure epoxy sculpt. And then I've got oh wait, that's different. So combination epoxy sculpt and green stuff. Oh god, every time I say combination, do you know combination Pizza Hut and Taco Bell?
I'm at the pizza.
Yeah, that's right. I'm at the combination Pizza Hut and Taco Bell. Sorry. So yeah, I got this whole like set. What the hell is this? Is this clay? Oh no, blue. That one is clay. So I've got these things. I just have to friggin' do it. And then this is Fix It.
Oh yeah, do that video because I'd be interested to see the results of that video.
I got to do another Fix It one because actually I'll do a Fix It one right now because I snapped the Fix It one. I don't know why. I was testing it. So yeah, just to like because with these you can really show someone why people use green stuff. Like this thing is totally flexible, the green stuff one. It's like totally rubbery. But you look at that and like how flexible that is, and then you take green stuff and you combine it with epoxy sculpt and you get like there is no flex in this.
Yeah, I actually think I want to start using the epoxy green stuff combo for my
It's so good.
like, tails going forward.
I
think having more rigidity in those is probably a better idea than just solid green stuff.
like unless you can't get epoxy sculpt and you're worried about running out, I just do that all the time because epoxy sculpt is cheaper than green stuff. You can get a lot more of it a lot easier as long as you can get it. And it's just so smooth, the sculpting experience.
I think it's regularly available on Amazon by Prime.
In the UK, in the US, right? You're in the US.
Yeah, in the US it is.
So North America, we're spoiled. Like we can get it here because it's manufactured here. But go to the UK, go to Germany, it's a lot harder to get.
Well, I guess if they have the Magic Sculpt,
Yeah.
they could probably substitute it with that.
I feel like even Magic Sculpt is not that easy to find. Anyway, it's my goal one day to sell epoxy sculpt to the whole world, so that I can get people it in the UK, I can get people it in Germany, wherever. So look forward to that.
Catch up on the comments.
Sure.
Where was I? Okay, Kajan was explaining what FEMO is. Polymer clay that you bake at 110 degrees Celsius. Yeah, Celsius.
Kajan, no one bakes anything in Celsius here. It's all Fahrenheit.
Reese's for breakfast because my favorite Beaverton headline was "Local man annoyed he cannot scratch his mosquito bites through his snowsuit."
Wait, Beaverton? So Reese's for breakfast is Canadian? It's got to be with a headline like that. Beaverton is a Canadian parody thing.
Oh, okay. Kashan said it's basically PVC with chemicals that turn it pliable. It will become almost like green stuff when you bake. And it's not like earth clay, which needs high temperature, but you bake it at a low temperature with like water boiling low. Well, sounds interesting. I can see it being maybe interesting for like terrain.
This is Fimo? Is he talking about Fimo?
Giovanni was just saying, yeah, it's a polymer clay that you bake. Reese's for breakfast says I'm going to do some fire pit baked ceramics next spring.
Reese's, man, where are you based in Canada? Because with comments like the Beaverton, you got to be in Canada.
Jonas was saying, I'm forcing myself into learning how to paint Caucasian flesh tones on Goliath. When was the last time you painted a non-mutant flesh tone?
Who, me?
I'm guessing you.
I don't know that I've ever painted a non-mutant flesh tone. It would have been a long time ago. It would have been like Dark Eldar. Maybe? I make sure that all my Dark Eldar have helmets on, because I don't like painting. Yeah, they're all mutants. Yeah, and they've all got that weird mutant flesh tone. I don't know that I've ever. In fact, I had to paint a non-mutant flesh tone for the Rainbow Warrior project that I signed up for.
Rainbow Warrior, like as in
the Space Marines.
Space Marine Rainbow Warriors.
Yeah. So, wait, this is scoping distance. That doesn't look right. Yeah, there was this Rainbow Warrior project that happened on Warhammer Twitter. And it was like kind of like a precursor to people actually caring about Black Lives Matter and like all that kind of stuff in the community. It was started. I can't remember who it was started by. I thought it was started by a bunch of different people, but I think it was this one guy, Havoc, because he is like of, I believe, Latino descent, and he had a negative experience when he was a kid. I think it was a Games Workshop. He went into a Games Workshop and he was like, "Hey, I want to paint these guys to look like me. Can you show me how to do that?" And I think the Games Workshop employee, because like was probably just some stupid kid who worked at Games Workshop, was like, "No, you can't do that. There aren't any Space Marines that look like you," or something like that.
Yeah, because that makes sense.
Yeah, so they shut him down in like a not a good way. So
that's awful.
Yeah, totally. That's total bullshit. But there is a faction of Space Marines called Rainbow Warriors, and they're like kind of quasi, I think like Mesoamerican, like Aztec, Mayan kind of deal.
I didn't know about the Rainbow Warriors, but I never knew they had like a Mesoamerican thing. That's cool, because like they're really, like, I wasn't aware there even was one. I always felt like that was kind of a void.
Yeah, well, a little, like, I think it's just their kind of like regalia is Mesoamerican. But if you look them up, they have like feathers and stuff, and they have like kind of. Now I'm getting confused, because when we did the Rainbow Warriors project, we leaned into the whole Mesoamerican thing and like did a lot of kind of inspiration from like lizardmen and like stealing stuff from lizardmen for like their weapons and stuff like that. So I created 2 characters for this project, and it was. The story I love telling about this is that we were doing this project, and it's supposed to be all about like representation, and like the idea was that there would be a lot of them with their helmets off, and they'd be painted in like a variety of different like skin tones and stuff like that, and like representation for like Latin Americans and stuff like that. But then, oh, fucking hell, when we were doing this project, what?
They all had helmets.
No, they didn't all have helmets. Like some of them didn't have helmets, but a lot of them did have helmets. But it was supposed to be about representation. I'm like, hey, why don't we make some of them women? And they were like, no, we can't do female Space Marines. Because it was supposed to be like a charity auction where we were raising money for some charity that promoted like inclusion at events. And they're like, yeah, if we make female Space Marines, people might get mad, and then like maybe they're not going to buy the army, or they're not going to buy like raffle tickets to get the army. I'm like, are you fucking serious? So I made one of mine women anyway, because I was just like, this is stupid. You guys are trying to do representation and you won't have female Space Marines. So I made a female Space Marine. She was like their assault captain or something. But I didn't show anyone the head until...
You were made a pariah.
What?
And then you were made a pariah from the Rainbow Warriors.
No, I don't know. I just like... I did it, and I didn't tell anyone I was doing it, and I just kind of like put the head on and shipped it to them. and like I never really paid attention to if anyone cared about it. Um, I don't even know if the army got sold, honestly. Like I think the guy who did it won a Warhammer hero thing for doing it, but I don't even know like what happened with the army getting sold and like the money being given to get charity, but I guess it did. So anyway, my long story short, the reason I'm telling this story is that I was supposed to paint skin tones on these two space marines, and they were non-Caucasian skin tones, but I don't paint humans, as Brother Pink points out. So I cheated and I painted everything else on the models. And then I took them with me to France because I was visiting Hydra. And I was like, hey, you paint humans. Can you paint these heads for me? So I got him to paint the heads on these models for me.
That's actually hilarious.
So that was my one chance to paint human skin tones. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do this.
Nah, man. You do it.
Yeah, and he was like, yeah, sure, no problem. Because he was doing Infinity, so he was doing like a lot of human stuff. Although he does like nomads, so they wear a lot of helmets and stuff.
So, Crafting Troll was asking, so Pink Brothers, did any one of you try out the Milliput Plasticine mix yet?
No! Wait, wasn't it... Is it Plasticine and Milliput? No. Whose crazy idea was that? Was that Kajan's idea? No, that was Scratch Bashing? Or is that Craft Troll's idea?
Crafting Trolls was asking that.
Okay, because someone brought it up in one of our streams, but I can't remember who brought it up. Was it?
Yeah, I'm not sure if you brought it up originally.
No, I've not tried that. I don't know. I should probably experiment more, but I'm pretty happy with the putties that I use. And any putty that you need to bake, I will never use. I will never try it. So Brother Pink might try it, but I don't know if he even has Milliput. Because Brother Pink works in like bakeable clays. Like he's big in ceramics, or at least he was when he had ready access to them. And he's been doing Fimo since Fimo was young. And I think he's also been doing Sculpty forever. So he's the expert on that stuff. So I'd say that if anyone's going to try it, it's going to be him. Brother Pink, what do you think?
Mechanico is saying Milliput is strong AF, but it's grainy. Yeah, I think it's the graininess.
Yes.
You really have to mix it well. Yeah, I don't like the graininess. It makes me uncomfortable.
Although one thing that I found when I was using Milliput is like I've tried using the yellow gray Milliput, the standard Milliput, and I've tried doing the whole thing where you mix it with green stuff. And the thing that I've always found is that it sets faster than green stuff. Like it speeds up the curing speed, which really wigs me out because like I'm happy with the speed that green stuff cures at, and I don't want it to cure any faster. So when that one starts,
half the time I almost feel like green stuff's curing too fast when I'm working on stuff.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just I'm a slow worker.
But you wouldn't want it to cure any faster, right?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, and when I was working with Milliput, like I don't know if it was just the batch that I was doing, but it felt like it was curing faster. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa! Like, no, 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 no! I do not want this to cure faster.
I'm not even done with these ribs yet. What's going on?
Exactly. So I didn't love that, but I did not find that with super fine white, the Milliput super fine white, the Milliput super fine white. I found it was very good at taking detail, but almost to the point where it was like unforgiving. Like, you know, like you kind of fudge detail and you can kind of like smooth it over in green stuff or something like that. I feel like with the superfine, it's like it knew where I was trying to like fudge it, and it was like, no, 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 I'm not letting you get away with this. I'm like,
live with your mistakes.
I'm like, damn it, just do what I tell you. And it's like, no, 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 you did this, and like I'm gonna hold this line here forever because you put this line here. And I'm like, no, 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 I didn't mean to, I swear. So it was kind of weird. So whereas I don't like Milliput, I respect Milliput superfine white. I feel like it's a good material that like a good sculptor can do good things with.
Yeah, I make so many mistakes when I'm sculpting. I could never use something like that.
Yeah, I feel like it's less forgiving of mistakes. I feel like green stuff in epoxy sculpt is more forgiving of mistakes. I don't really know why. It's hard to explain, but there is something to the texture of normal Milliput, and I can see how it would be good for armor. I just haven't mastered it yet.
Let's see. Where was I? Shoot. Mark was saying standard yellow, gray, Milliput, and green stuff is great. I think they're talking about like combining it.
Yeah. That's the.
Kajan was saying Magic Sculpt is by the same company as Green Stuff. Green Stuff original name is Needite.
Yep.
Needite.
Needite.
Needite Duro, and Needite was bought by Slime Master. They also make Magic Sculpt. If you want cheap green stuff in the UK, Europe, then getting it from Slime Master / Needite is probably the cheapest. You can get it separated or a 90 centimeter band of green stuff for €15.
Who's saying all that?
Emo is almost as flexible as that green stuff you just showed.
Who's saying all that? Is that Kajan?
Kajan.
Okay, I
I
gotta.
think Kajan became a salesman for Slime Master.
Well, I gotta talk to Kajan about that because I'm trying to get in touch with the people who make green stuff to see about like buying it from them directly and maybe like retailing, but I can't get in contact with them. Like all of my green stuff has this company on it called Polymetric Systems, and I looked them up and they've got a office in the States and an office in the UK, and I try to contact their American office, but no one ever answers the phone and no one ever responds to my email. So I haven't tried contacting their UK office yet, but I don't know. So maybe it's this.
You could get like a sponsor.
I don't want to sponsor. I want to sell the stuff. Like I want to set up like a little tiny sculpting store online so that I can sell all you dudes green stuff and epoxy sculpt because I'm so tired of people asking me where to buy this stuff. And I'm like, where do you live? And they're like, oh, I live here. I'm like, well, I don't really know who sells it there, but I just kind of wish that I could be like, hey, do you want it? Like I can sell it to you. But I need to get in contact.
Was saying the claw's looking great so far.
Yeah, it's actually coming out a lot better than I thought. I didn't think I was going to get into this much detail. I thought I was just going to like reinforce the.
I feel like you say that every time.
Yeah, well, it's good. It's a good problem to have. Because,
yeah, that's true.
like, also a lot of this shit happens by accident. So if you look at that picture of hell that we've got up there, it's not really indicative of like what kind of structures and patterns are on this claw. But this thing just kind of came out naturally as I was working on it, and I kind of like it.
Yeah, you got the essence. That's what's important.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it deviating too much from the picture. It's just that the picture gives me no kind of help with what kind of textures
to
put into it. Yeah.
So it's kind of, it's like it's detailed, but it's not like your brain kind of has to fill in some of the elements as well.
Yeah, so I'm filling in with my brain, and I'm happy with the fill-in we're doing. Pretty happy.
One thing I kind of was thinking is yours. Have you played Resident Evil? Any of the Resident Evil games?
I am kind of familiar with lore and creatures and stuff, but I've played only the first one.
Well, in the remake of the second game,
yeah,
your head design reminds me a lot of
Abomination?
The boss G3.
Oh, never mind. I thought there was one called Abomination or something, and people are saying that it's like that.
So it's one of the, I think it's the final encounter that Leon has in against William Birkin. He's the guy that was like infected with the G virus, and he was like constantly throughout the game. Every time you encounter him, he's like further like mutated.
Yeah.
But the head design that you did for her,
yep,
is very similar to G3.
Cool. Can you send me a picture on Instagram?
Yeah. One sec.
Because maybe I can get some ideas.
Yeah, actually, I really wanted to do like a Gene Stealer like brute, kind of inspired by it, because it actually does have 4 arms as well.
Oh, nice.
And I was thinking like some kind of like really creepy mutated Gene Stealer hybrid.
Yep, I like that.
I just sent it to you.
Thanks. Not gonna look at it now, but I'll look at it later.
Yeah. Let's see. Mark says Slime Master have great prices, but the postage is expensive. Blitz Mechanica said Beaverton is British Columbia. I think that was in reference to you asking.
Oh yeah.
about Rhesus.
Where's the Slimaster stuff?
Dr. Faust's painting clinic has a great video on skin tone. I do really enjoy Dr. Faust's videos. He's really good at teaching painting.
Oh, he's the guy who gave me my my homunculus mutant skin tone. He like painted a Talos or something. And I followed his Talos skin tone to make my uses for my homunculus dudes. The purpley kind of thing.
When you started talking about the Rainbow Warriors, Kajan said, "Wait, Mr. Pink still is infected with the space smurf disease. Do we need to stage an intervention?"
No, I'm not invented. I haven't done any Space Marines since then, man. Come on. You know me. You see me making these monsters. Does this look like a Space Smurf to you?
And then he said, the whole Space Marine skin color discussion is so tiring. They don't have a skin color because they have a special organ that changes their skin tone based on ambient radiation levels.
Yeah.
Space Marines are basically like that guy from SeaQuest with all the skin colors.
No, I don't think so. I don't know. I feel like people lean on that to be like, we don't need to worry about representation because the Space Marine has every skin color. And I don't feel that's right. Like, I feel like...
I just feel like that's such an like, I get it. Like, here's kind of how I feel about it. Like, with even with female Space Marines, like, I get that there's lore and there's established canon for what Space Marines are, but I don't think you should let your hobby be inhibited by that. Because at the end of the day, if you want to have female Space Marines, if you want to have representation in your models, that should be all that matters to you.
Yeah.
That should be all that matters to anybody else.
Agreed.
You shouldn't go and tell people, oh, you can't make female Space Marines, you can't have African American Space Marines, you can't have Latino Space Marines.
That's what we talked about. Sexy Warhammer ladies. Gatekeeping, not cool.
Yeah, any kind of gatekeeping in any hobby. We should be inviting more people into this hobby.
Agreed.
Not trying to keep people out of it.
Okay, one thing
Will I ever be female Space Marines? Probably not, because that doesn't fit my vision of the setting. But just because I don't personally want to do female Space Marines doesn't mean I have any problem with anybody else wanting.
I think that's the best way to approach it. Oh man, this is so white. I don't know how easy it is for you guys to see this, but I feel like it's too dark when I turn that off. Yeah, like, I don't know. Female Space Marines, more power to you. I don't care. Do it. I actually want it because it pisses off the weirdo neckbeards so bad. I'm like, I revel in their tears.
If I ever did introduce them, I wouldn't, like, whatever. Okay.
Yeah. I'd be like, cool.
They've introduced tons of stuff in the lore that I didn't like. But, you know.
Oh, I'd like it if they introduced them. I'd be like, yeah, sure, bring it. But like what I was saying about the whole like, oh, this guy's got a magical organ that makes all his skin tones. It's like, okay, that's great. Then how come they're all painted white? Like for years, the Space Marines, everyone you painted was white. If they've got this organ that makes their skin tone represent the radiation, whatever, is the radiation always the same? Is it always the radiation that produces white skin tone? Because that doesn't make a lot of sense. So it's like, sure, that's cool fluff, but like I never see it in practice. So
plus, there's also the implication of like, so before they're Space Marines, could they be like African American featured or skin toned, and then suddenly they get turned into a white guy?
Yeah,
they turn into Space Marines. Like,
yeah, there's some deep shit right there. That's some deep stuff that's going on there behind the scenes. That when you become a superhuman, you become a white guy. Like that's not cool.
Yeah, I mean it's probably looking too far into it. But
well, the thing is, you could say it's looking too far into it, but the problem is that this is like the implication. Like, sure, no one meant that, but it doesn't matter what they meant. Like, that's what's implied, and that's not okay. So we need to challenge that.
Let's see.
What the fuck am I doing here?
Speaking from experience, humans are lame. This is Alexander Alfonso said.
Oh, Alfonso's here? Oh shit, buddy, welcome. I know Alfonso from he's local. He like from my Games Workshop.
Let's see what else.
So I don't really know what I'm doing with this claw at this point, so I'm just putting all these divots in it so that I have like something for the putty to purchase to like grip onto, because I'm probably going to sculpt another layer over this. Like this stuff I'm all happy with, so I'm going to leave it clean. But this stuff I'm going to just kind of mess it up so that there's like little bits for the putty to grip into. Because it was just like a smooth layer and I tried to put putty on top, it might not grip. It would probably grip fine. I'm probably overthinking it, but whatever.
He also said, damn, look at those well moisturized hands. Years of sculpting and you could never tell. I'm sure that's because of the Nivea.
Yep. Alfonso's a troll.
I will let you know. My wife picked some up for me on the way home.
Good man.
CVS. I'm going to be trying it.
I can't believe you've never used Nivea.
I don't know. It just sounds so like using skin cream on sculpting. I mean, I know you said.
Are you judging me?
It doesn't leave
Are you doubting me?
But I have this weird thing about residues on my hands.
You are not doubting me right now.
Like,
are you doubting me right now?
What?
Are you doubting me right now? Are you doubting me with the whole Nivea thing?
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying.
I've been doing it for years. We talked about like
I'm definitely gonna give it a try.
we talked about getting like getting smooth armor plates on Tyranids. It's all Nivea, man. It's the greatest gift Hydra ever gave me.
That's what I'm going to do actually probably this weekend. I'm going to try and get through the armor plating on the horror, and I'm going to be trying the Nivea with it.
You better. It's going to be so much easier.
I'm hoping this is going to like open my third eye.
It is. Try and open your third eye, man.
Peter Hampson was saying, I actually had an idea / wrote fluff for a vaguely Southeast Asian themed Sisters of Battle army. Granted, I originally conceived them to fall to Nurgle and become the Order of the Rotten Heart. Whoops. I actually really like the idea of the Southeast Asian themed Sister of Battle army. That'd be really cool.
Yeah. Order of the Rotten Heart is pretty cool too.
I prefer them to like not fall to chaos though. I think they'd be cool.
True.
Just as a Southeast Asian Thief Sisters force. Might write up that some of them have escaped the fall of the Order and still serve the Emperor. Also, excuse for a Kill Team Inc. 28 idea. Dude, do it. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Kajan said if green stuff cures too fast on you, sculpted polymer clay, you bake it at 230 degrees Fahrenheit for you that do proper measurements. That's right, proper measurements.
Hey man, Canada's supposed to be metric, but we live too close to the United States. All of our building materials come from the States, so we just have to like suck it up.
It's funny, like when you look at it on paper, I understand why the whole world uses Celsius, and honestly, it does make a lot more sense. But I don't know. It's just like my puny American brain can't reconcile it.
Well, like the whole like boiling at 100, freezing at 0. I feel like that makes more sense than 32. And what is it? What does water boil at?
170.
Exactly. What the hell? How much easier would it be to just be 100?
Oh no! Like I said, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But
America, growing up with that shit. Whatever. I'm close enough to understand it.
I mean, I lived in West Virginia for 15 years, so.
What does that mean?
I definitely was very much familiar with the principle of America.
Oh, okay, gotcha. That's like American hillbilly land?
Depends on where you go, but mostly. West Virginia is kind of it kind of has a reputation for being hillbilly central.
Yeah.
It's kind of where the South begins.
Okay. I don't know if this is easier to see now. I don't know.
Oh, Kajan was saying he's going to send you a link for the Green Stuff people.
Thanks.
Link to their website.
Thanks, Kajan. So right now, I did like on the claw, I did the kind of texture that the claw will have on the front because I was happy with it. And then I did this kind of like dimpling at the back because that's where I'm going to attach on the next level of putty. But down here, I just wanted to reinforce the plastic card. And I don't have enough putty here to start sculpting the like sections. So what I did is I decided to sculpt the connective tissue that's going to go like between the two sections. And then I can do like the section over here. And then the connective tissue will be there down in the crevice. But I need to reinforce this wire up here because this is supposed to be, if you see on the picture, there's like a tendon that connects there. So I should get some putty on that probably.
So that's kind of the beginning of the tendon.
Yeah. Which I've never really done these kind of tendons before on a Tyranid, but I did them on Hell's legs, like on the back of the lower leg. So I'm excited to do it on the claw as well.
So are you still going to be doing that idea you had where for the like regenerative portion with the like, kind of the tendons like kind of pulling back or like
well, I want to, and like I incorporated the regeneration bit from the Carnifex model into the face. And I kind of wanted to use the lines of that as like this kind of like blast template or kind of blast marker that went off on the side of her body. But I don't know, it might be too much work with all the like the droopy parts like pulling stuff back together, but I might just like rough up the carapace around and like the rib cage and stuff and rough up like the jaw. But I haven't really decided yet. Because it's a cool idea, but I haven't decided if it's like more work than I want to do. Oh shit.
It's also kind of such like a... or it's... the illusion of it and like what's happening requires so much movement that like it's kind of a hard thing to snapshot on a model and get to look right.
Yeah.
Like I can see it in my head, but I have no idea how I personally would even begin to sculpt something that looks like what I'm imagining.
Yeah, maybe I should just try it and see what happens. But... all right, for the tendon, I want it to be kind of a little bit flexible in that if it gets any strain on it, it won't snap or crack. So I'm going to use straight up green stuff on it. Because as we saw when I was bending that little bit of green stuff before, if you want anything to be sticking off your model and you don't want it to break when it gets a little bit of pressure on it, green stuff is the thing to use because it's so rubbery. But rarely do I use pure green stuff, so this is going to be a rare experience. It's also the case that pure green stuff is very sticky, so if you're trying to like wrap it around this wire thing, it could be helpful for that.
Crash Control was saying he started watching the stream from 11 minutes in. He mixed plasticine and milliput mixed together, sculpted a bunch of mushrooms he needed for terrain. Now he just took it out of the oven and it'll be ready to paint in 10 minutes. So I think it's an amazing tool to have. Yeah, that does sound pretty cool, but milliput.
Yeah.
Milliput. Kajan was saying, you bake Fimo for 30 minutes as well, and then you can paint on it as soon as it's cooled down.
Yeah. Hydra's working in Fimo right now, and he's really liking it because he's got kids. So with epoxy sculpt, you mix it up and you have to use it before it sets. But he says that with Fimo, he can like work on it a bit and then put it aside and deal with his kids, and then come back and work on it a bit and then put it aside and deal with his kids.
Is that what he's making that bust out of?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's experimenting with it. He said he went out and bought like Fimo Pro or something, like professional grade Fimo or something, and he started using it. And he said it's absolutely horrible, and then because it was really hard, he said, and then like once you get it warmed up, it's like better, but it's still not great. So he wound up just going back to like standard Fimo.
Jardis was saying, can you talk about Bitsbox Patreon?
Oh yeah, so I got in on the Bitsbox Patreon. Anyone who follows me on Instagram knows that Had a hate on for Hobby Patreon, but I would say that Bitsbox Patreon probably doesn't count because Bitsbox is a place in the UK that sells bits. I've bought some stuff from them before. I used to use a supplier in the US called Hordo Bits. People have said that they've had really like negative experiences with Hordo Bits, and they've like sometimes their orders show up or they don't show up or whatever. I got really lucky in that other than them being really friggin' slow, like second coming slow, I never really had any problems with Hordo Bits, but they've kind of become defunct now. Um, and what I liked about the Hordo Bits model is that you didn't buy one bit, like you'd buy like they'd break up boxes, and if you wanted to buy the guns from a box, they'd sell you like all the guns from the box. Like if a box came with 10 guns, you're buying 10 guns. Which works for some people better than others. Like some people are like, I just want this one model. But, oh god, this is a mess. Anyway, Bitsbox is more of the model where if you want one thing, they'll sell you one thing. But I feel like the prices are a little higher because of that. So depending on what you're trying to go for. Anyway, they have a Patreon where you give them, I think it's like $10 American Patreon a month, and they'll send you a bag of random bits, which is kind of fun. I thought it might be kind of inspiring, so I figured I would try it out for a few months and see how it goes. I sponsored in October, and I just got my October bits because Canada we use beavers and moose to deliver our mail apparently, and we're super slow. Because someone else who did it and is based in the UK, because Bitsbox is based in the UK, they got their bits like on like November 4th or something for the October bits, and then I got mine on November 24th, 5th. What the heck is it today? Yeah, so that wasn't ideal, but that's not their fault. That's the Canadian Postal System's fault. But it was okay. But I'm in touch with this dude in the UK who's also doing it. Prolly Troll, I think is that his name? He's on Instagram. He did this really cool like bike lately, chopper, chaos chopper thing. Anyway, so he sent me pictures of his bits, and then I looked at my bits, and he got more bits than I did. I guess that might be because I'm in Canada and it costs more to ship to me or something. But so I wasn't thrilled with how many bits I got, just because I'd seen his and like it seemed like he got more than me. So I'm gonna stick with it though. Like I'm gonna see a couple more months, see how it goes, see how the bits boxes turn out. I got some Tyranid bits in my bag, which was fun, and got some Space Marine backpacks because I feel like probably every bag they ever send out has Space Marine backpacks in it. Got some like I think I posted them on Instagram. I got some Age of Sigmar Corn dude torsos. I got some bits from like Slaneshi Demons, a couple of little Tau things, a decent amount of Admech stuff, and like a Castellan. Is it Castellan? Are those the big robots that Admech has?
I think so.
The like torso and like one of the arms and like one of the legs from that and like one of the guns.
That's not $10.
Yeah, it's not bad. Like I wasn't blown away. Let's put it that way. I wasn't like, oh my god, I got all this for $10. But one thing that I was blown away by is that I got pieces of the Mega Gargant, and like that just came out. Yeah, I got like not a lot. Like I got like the back of an arm, and then I got like the netting piece that goes over like the belly. And then I got. It's funny. I was comparing notes with Polytroll, and he got the other side of like my like. I got the like cannon column club or whatever that the Mega Gargant has, and I got one side of it, and he got the. Sorry?
With our powers combined.
Exactly. It's like Captain Planet. Like, he got one part of the Captain Planet club, and I got the other part of the Captain Planet club. So he's like, yo, I could really use that club. If we ever exchange bits, you send it my way. I'm like, yeah, no problem. But it's pretty cool. Like, I thought it might be like a cool thing for inspiration. Oh, I got a pile of Space Wolf Lightning Claws, which is cool, because I always thought Lightning Claws were kind of neat, but I don't really know what to do with them. So yeah, it's a cool kind of little inspiration thing, and I had the crazy idea of trying to take all the bits that I got in my bag and trying to make like one model out of them. It'd be like a weird organic / robotic thing, but
yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, just looking at some of the Tau bits were like really cool for like a head or something like
man,
that.
we are so behind on comments.
Okay, hit it up. Just go pure comments. But I
Okay.
think that Colin and Alfonso are having like a conversation in there. I saw. So maybe we don't have to go through all that if they're just talking to each other, but because they know each other from Toronto.
Anzac Miniatures?
Oh, Manzak! Manzak's here. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Citizen Snips.
Citizen Snips? What? That's someone else in the chat?
I think he's talking about Hell. Citizen Snips.
Oh, nice. Sorry, Manzak. I didn't get any Catacross bits.
A lot of conversation about inclusion, female space marines,
Good. Like that.
people of color space marines.
As long as no one's being a dick.
Yeah, no, nobody's being a dick.
Good.
Alexander Alfonso was saying he's avoiding his essay. Say what's up
Oh,
to
nice. Say what's up to what?
the misses for me.
Oh, yeah, Alfonso actually knows my misses.
Les Mechanica said if you use fine grit sandpaper, the putty will stick. Putty will use fine grit sandpaper. The putty will stick.
Oh, maybe best or better or something? That
Best, maybe.
if you sandpaper it, it'll... What else is going on?
Peter Hampson said the texture on the upper arm looks really nice. Brother Pink said the greatest gift Hydra ever gave to you, friendship? ?
No, it's Nivea. Come on.
Let's see. Manzak said, I'm a bit surprised you aren't doing the big parts and sculpt these so you can bake it when you're ready.
How am I going to bake it, buddy? It's on, like, plasticard. It'll melt the shit out of it. I do not bake. I never bake. The way, like, I know people use Sculpey in that way because they want to get everything exactly right. The way I do that is by working in layers. That if I was worried about getting this exactly right, I would do, like, a rough underlayer, and then I would, like, let it set, and then I would come back and do, like, a slightly more detailed upper layer, and I would let it set, and a slightly more detailed upper layer, and that's how I do it. Like, I don't want to bake. I don't ever want to bake, because, like, I put stuff on models, and models are plastic. Like, I can't bake hell. It'll melt. So, yeah, I will never bake. So just work in small areas. Like, if you're worried about getting stuff wrong, work in a small area and do it in layers. And that's how you get around, like... Because Brother Pink has said this before, that the problem with Sculpey is that you can obsess over it. You can keep, like, working it, and try to get it perfect. And then you don't get any happy accidents. Like, if you're forcing yourself to get it all done at once, then you have some happy accidents, and sometimes it's good. Anyway, that's my rant about baking. I don't like baking.
Let's see. We had some talk about the metric system. Bliss Mechanica said if you work in any shop with machinery, most of it is pre-metric system, and the companies can't afford to buy new metric machines.
Oh, I'm getting to the point where I'm going to have to put this down. I just shoved my finger in the tendon I was sculpting.
Oh no! I hate when I do that.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Every time I'm like, I should stop.
Yeah.
I'm going to accidentally put my finger in something, and then I keep going. I should stop. I'm going to accidentally put my finger in something. Then I keep going, and then I finally do it, and I'm like, God damn it! I should have just stopped.
That's why you need people on stream to tell you to put it down.
Probably. Yeah, Alexander and Colin were having a conversation. Bliss Mechanica was saying, is anyone else working on their model as they watch the stream?
Oh yeah, is anyone else working?
I always do when I'm watching your streams.
Nice. Not today because we put you to work.
Yeah. Plus I got the whole Thanksgiving break to work on the horror, so...
Nice. So you're not, like, seeing family or anything, right? Because of, like, COVID and all that?
No, yeah, my brother's immunocompromised and my mom's high risk because she smokes. So...
Yeah.
me and my wife just decided we're just gonna do a little thing at home. We're gonna do some like baking and cooking, and maybe binge watch a show or something.
Nice.
Just kind of have a lazy Thanksgiving.
That's good. I like that. I'm planning on having a lazy Christmas. So like in Canada, we do Christmas like you guys do Thanksgiving. Like I understand that Christmas isn't as big a thing in the States, but Thanksgiving is like the main deal. Is that true? Like family wise.
Maybe for some people, I'd say like I mean we get together. I'd say we have a similar amount of people for each holiday, but I think probably Christmas is more revered. I guess I don't know. I also have some very like hardcore Christian people in my family that view Christmas as a
religious holiday.
So a holy holiday.
Yeah.
I'm personally not super religious, but I have family members who are. So in that regard, too, I think Christmas is probably. I can't speak for the entire States, but I think
of course
America is also such a commercialized country that Christmas is so heavily commercialized that I think it's. Yeah, I will say that like in America, as soon as Halloween is over, Christmas stuff is all over.
Oh yeah, same here. But I thought someone told me that like in terms of. I thought someone told me that in terms of getting home to see your family, that it's a bigger thing. Again, you can't generalize for all the states, but I heard that like people prioritize that more for Thanksgiving than necessarily for Christmas. But is that, I guess, maybe not the case?
Thanksgiving, maybe it's just my family, but Thanksgiving's never. I mean, we do all get together and eat turkey, and all that stuff, but I've never viewed it as bigger than Christmas.
Gotcha.
I also don't have a huge family either, so that's also probably part of it.
Gotcha.
Let's see. Bliss Mechanica said he's working on an ad neck kick bash.
Nice.
Colin McDuffie was saying everyone knows how awesome guitar wire is for cables. I used to be a huge advocate for that, but now that I've got that Stuff World tentacle roller, I can't imagine making wires any other way.
Oh, I still use the guitar wire. I mean, I have a tentacle roller. It's not a Green Stuff World one, but I don't know. I still use the wires. Although I haven't done that in a while.
I just like how you can... Because, like, the thing about, like, if you're using the, like, wider grade of guitar wire or guitar strings, like... If you bend it into like really tight coils, you start to get that separation.
Yeah, true. That is a problem.
So like if you're getting more straight or like not super bendy, yeah, I guess I will still use guitar wire. But if you need like really curly, like conduit looking stuff, I really like the tentacle roller for that.
Nice. Where are we at? Anything else happening in the chat? I feel like it like exploded.
Yeah, it did. That's why I'm trying to catch up. Trying to sort through it. Kachan was actually on the subject of wires. He says he likes to use different sized combs to do wires.
Oh yeah, we did that. We talked about that on the stream, that you could just use a comb to be a tentacle roller.
Huh, I've never tried that. That might be worth trying.
Yeah, you just have to get the right like small combs. I was thinking you could get them from, someone commented here, it was probably Kazan, that you can get like certain ones for like fleas, like defleeing your animals at pet shops. Mm-hmm. And they're pretty fine, and like the teeth are pretty closely spaced.
Yeah, and they're also like straight, so they're not like that tapered.
Okay, I am officially putting this down before I ruin it, because I'm happy with it, and like the tendon's in like a decent place where I'm not like, I don't hate it. Although of course I look at it and I think I can change it, but
Colin Duffy said he eventually wants to turn one of those can't believe it's not high elves mega cows into a vermin lord.
I love the mega cows. That is the
I
coolest
like that. Is
model.
that not high elf? Is that not a high
Oh
elf?
no, I think it was in the reveal. I think it was in the or no, maybe he's referring to the fact that it looks like a keeper of secrets,
Maybe.
or
I
maybe
think he's
he's
talking about like that big high elf
yeah, he is.
construct.
He is. I'm just trying to figure out the joke about I can't believe it's not high elves.
Oh, don't they call it something
Oh yeah,
different?
Lumineth.
Yeah,
Okay, that's probably what he's talking
the,
about.
the elves.
Elves. Yeah, it sounds like someone in the south. I'm gonna get me some of them elves.
Or the Eldari.
Get some of that Eldar goodness. Oh, I was okay. I like this is not the Age of Sigmar stream. If you want the Age of Sigmar stream, you're not going to be here. You're going to be overwatching Warhammer Weekly. But I've paid a little bit of attention to Age of Sigmar stuff, and there's like the different kinds of elves, and like the elves, and these the Lumineth are like the light elves or whatever, and then they've got the hold on, they've got the like the sea elves, you know, with their like eels and sharks and shit. Ideneth, yeah. And then like apparently there's going to be a new one called Malekith or something, which is like chaos elves or dark elves or something. But I was typing out Malekith in something the other day, and it came out as male Keith, like men male, and then Keith because I didn't know how to spell it. So that's pretty good for. I got them male Keith elves. Sorry, that's just my randomness.
Colin Duffy says somehow Mr. Pink channels a ranty Bob Ross. Glorious.
I love it. I want to be ranty Bob Ross. Did I just shove my finger in this shit again? Oh my god.
I am to stop like twice in the
I
past
am
like 20 minutes.
not. I am not having happy accidents.
I'm rubbing off on you.
I need to put this shit down. Of course, it's the green stuff that's taking all my fingerprints because it's so fucking sticky. Ranty Bob Ross is about to go off.
Yeah, that's the one. Like I'm sure you vividly remember the Dungeons of Games Workshop where
shit just dropped
got,
it.
like you only got news about models like 2 weeks before they came out.
Yeah.
So like I'm super happy about like the direction Games Workshop has gone in like the past like 4-5 years. I don't know, since Roundtree took over as I guess he's CEO or CFO.
Yeah, I think CEO. Yeah.
But since that happened, I've been a real big fan of pretty much most of the decisions they've been making. But one thing I just can't get behind and have been able to is all the super IP friendly names they've done for everything.
Yeah, they're a bit ridiculous. Well, I guess it makes sense because they were just ripping off like classic fantasy names before and trying to trademark them. So it makes more sense for them to have their own names. But I think it's because they got smacked. I think it's because they were like, no, we trademarked this, and like a trademark judge or lawyer or whatever was like, how did you trademark that? That's like a common term. It's like if you want to trademark this. Oh no, of course. But like I don't know. I'm a bit like good on Chapter House for calling that bluff. Because
I have no sympathy for Games Workshop in that regard. Like I think it. I mean, if anything, how much GW lost in that lawsuit was probably good for third-party bits manufacturers.
Did they lose that much? I don't really know what happened in that. Like
they lost like a lot of the claims that they tried to. Basically, the way the results shaped up. Long story shook.
How did you find out about this?
That basically, they couldn't tell people to stop making bits for their models anymore, and that was what they wanted. They wanted, people to just stop making third-party bits. And what ended up happening is they created a court case that basically declared, no, you can't tell people not to do that, because the argument was made that it was basically the same as third-party car part manufacturers making.
Yeah, that was what Chapter House always said.
Sorry, say again.
That I feel like that was always Chapter House's defense, that they're like, we're just third-party car manufacturers.
Yeah, and pretty much that's what the courts told GW, and especially because also GW kind of came to court saying they had all these claims to make, and then they didn't really, oh well, we're going to claim against him using our Space Marine or Astartes copyright, and then like the judge was like, well, where is it? And they were like, well, right here. It's very clearly meant to be used for Space Marines. It's like, yeah, but they're not using your copyrights. It's compatible, but it's not. They're not using any copyrighted material.
How did you find out about all this? Where did you read about all this? Because
So Daka did a whole. I don't know if you're familiar with Daka.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, there was a whole 400-page mega thread just chronicling all the public information that was made about the Chapter House Studio.
Oh wow, case.
Okay. I followed that.
Cool.
For the entire period it was going on. It's sad because the lawsuit, they kind of, I guess, were martyred because the lawsuit put them out of business because they were just so indebted.
Chapter House?
After, trying to defend themselves, but
yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, I think what they did really helped third-party manufacturers to be able to, I don't think people like Anvil Industry or Puppets War or any of the other third-party bits manufacturers would be able to exist as they do today if it weren't for that lawsuit.
No, you're probably right. Damn. I thought that they had there was a lawyer who was representing them pro bono that I heard.
Yeah,
Chapter House.
They did, and I think there was also that Games Workshop did win on some stuff. So some of the claims they did.
Yeah.
Because they made it was some absurd amount of claims.
So there was
hundreds.
I don't know if you're familiar with the base model that I used for making my grotesques, the Bioterror. So when I did
vaguely.
So when I did my grotesques, I used a third-party miniature called a Bioterror that was done by Paulson Games.
Paulson Games, didn't they do Tau stuff as well?
Yep.
And they had some bone swords, didn't they, as well?
Yep. And somehow they got pulled into this Chapter House thing. Apparently spuriously or erroneously, there was this guy in Australia who made this big Tau mech that he was selling or something, and then they accused Paulson of being the one who made it, and he was not the one who made it, just so that they could drag him into the lawsuit or something. I don't know.
I vaguely remember that as well.
Him and I were trying to kind of work together on maybe making some miniatures, and it didn't really pan out. Not Games Workshop miniatures. He wanted to make his own game, and he wanted me to sculpt some bugs for him, but it didn't really work out. Just because I wasn't really in the right place to do it for him. But yeah, so he told me a bit about it just because I love the Bioterror and I wanted more Bioterrors. He's like, listen, man, I can't sell them because I'm been dragged into this thing, and it's kind of Games Workshop is saying it's partly their IP, and I don't know. So he might have gotten screwed over by it too.
Wow, back when he was doing that.
Yeah, you got all the weird third-party Tyranid bits, man.
Yeah, I did. For better or worse. Some of them were
worse.
Looking back at it, some of them were kind of wonky.
Yeah, but I understand that it's oh man, they have a bit for this. I should get this, and especially when Games Workshop's trying to shut them all down. You can get the mentality where it's man, I gotta get this because it's gonna be gone next week.
Well, it was also that 5th edition Tyranid Codex had so many great units that had no models.
Yeah, that was the thing that came out of this. I think that was the whole thing, because that's where Chapter House came from. Games Workshop released all these codexes where they're here's a bunch of units that we don't have models for. And Chapter House is okay, we're going to make models for those. And then what I heard was that Games Workshop's no, you can't do that. Those are our models. And then the judge was okay, show me your models. They're well, we don't have the models yet, but we're going to make models for them. Yeah.
It's like, so what you're saying is you created a gap in the market and another company filled it.
Yeah.
I.e. capitalism.
I think that's also when we started getting the art, like all the art is only actual models. Like it used to be they do art of like cool versions of like other creatures and stuff like that and other.
Yeah, notice how at a codex that doesn't have a corresponding model for the units anymore.
Yeah.
Very rarely. I mean, there are some exceptions, but generally speaking, if it's in the codex, there's a model for it.
But also just like in the art that they put in the codex books. Like I think what they started doing was that they don't show anything in the art that isn't a model. I thought I heard that they were doing that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like if you look, I think the most poignant example recently that I remember, if you look at that, Marvel just started doing comic books for 40K.
Yep.
And there's this one panel where Marius Calgar is fighting a bunch of Chaos cultists.
Yeah.
And literally all of the Chaos cultists are identical to the Chaos cultist models.
Really?
The Dark Vengeance set.
Oh shit, okay.
They're like identical. Something as like nebulous as just a random person worshiping Chaos. And they were drawn, I'm sure, at the behest of GW to look exactly like the Chaos cultists.
Wow, crazy, okay.
So yeah, I definitely think that that's become like a mandate from GW.
All right, I think
Which is kind of disappointing.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It stifles creativity, but I guess on their end, they're like, yeah, well, we tried to be creative and we got burned. So as much as like I can be a little like disappointed in GW, I'm also a little bit disappointed in the fact that like Chapter House and all those companies, they jumped all over it and they like grabbed all that IP because I think I've talked about this before, but for someone who likes, I guess you get this because you love conversions. For someone who loves conversions, that 5th edition or whatever Tyranid Codex was a dream because it was like, here are like 6 creatures that we don't have models for. Go nuts. Here's like a vague idea what they should look like. Just go crazy. Just do whatever. Just like figure out your own Tyranids. And it inspired a lot of ideas. And I feel like now when the only thing that ever shows up in the Codex is something that has a model, it's less likely to inspire someone to like take a chance on converting something from scratch and coming up with their own concept for it. Like it's less rewarding in that respect. So I feel like we missed something there. Like I understand the frustration if you don't like converting to be like, this is a really cool unit and I want to field it. But Games Workshop doesn't make a model for it. But yeah, I'm on the other side.
Same. I like converting stuff.
Yeah. All right.
My favorite part.
I'm going to have to call this soon because it's getting close to 9 and I got to shut down at 9. But I feel like we should go through some of the comments because it's just been like going nuts. I'm going to look at them too on my end. Where are we? Oh my God, where are we? Guitar Wire? Keeper of Secrets. Yeah, we're talking about making the mountain count of Keeper of Secrets. Somehow Mr. Pink channels Ranty Bob Ross. I like it. Manzak. Oh, yeah, he was talking about making his big turtle shell. He did this really amazing turtle shell, and I can see how that would benefit from Sculpey because that's a lot of detailed sculpting on a big thing. Ornim. I didn't see Ornim come in. Hey, Ornim. Welcome. Don't know if you're still here. He's working on a helmet. That's cool. This is biggest challenge. Oh, they're talking about Thanksgiving. Alfonso's here being ridiculous. He's blowing up gas stations.
Put it down.
Yeah, they're good. Oh, Peter Hampson's all over that.
Peter Hampson, Kajan, Crafting Troll, put it down.
Crafting Troll says, Mr. Pink, will you get back into making regular sculpting videos at some point? Or have you switched your focus to a live stream channel instead? Either is fine, but I really miss the sculpting videos. Crafting Troll, I would like to do sculpting videos again. In fact, I was going to start doing one the other day on Tyranids, and I prepared this dude to kind of show out a bunch of Tyranid stuff. So I will do that. I will get back to sculpting videos soon. I've leaned into this because the thing with sculpting videos is that unless I do them like I did the Nurgle one, if you've seen my recent Nurgle sculpting video that I did, that one was a lot easier because I just kind of like did it all in one go. I just hit record, I kept sculpting, and then I finished, and I pressed stop, and I was done. And I was like, okay, this is the video. I'm going to do a slight amount of editing at the front and the end, and I might speed up some parts. But the old sculpting videos, it was a lot of editing, and the more I have to edit, the slower I'm going to get something up. So I try to find solutions where I don't have to edit as much. And unfortunately, streaming, or fortunately, unfortunately, streaming is the least editing you have to do because you just kind of put it up and it's there. But I do enjoy also having people on here and like chatting with people about it. So I keep saying that I'm going to do a request video, like what you want to request that I show you how to sculpt. So maybe we should do that on a stream and see how that works out. Where I don't have a miniature that I'm working on. I just have some putty and some like armatures, and I'm like, hey, what do you want me to sculpt? Or actually, the better way to do it is to do a poll in advance so that we can like get some in the can, and then also people can show up and like request things on the video, so we don't have like that one time I tried to do it and I'm like, what do you guys want me to sculpt? And it was like crickets, and Jacob was like, pants. I'm like, okay, I can sculpt some pants. So we'll try a sculpting stream, and then we'll also do a I will do some sculpting videos at some point. I do want to get back to them, certainly.
Stop touching it.
I'm not.
I keep seeing you.
There was a little thing I had to clean up. All right.
I keep seeing you like poke at it. Leave it alone.
I love how Kajan answered my question like however many minutes ago. Proper sculpting videos would be fine, but he prefers the streams because it doesn't need editing. I love that Kajan, I feel like, is like my press secretary or something. Proper sculpting videos are more shareable, and I do have to do those, but it is a lot of work, as Kaja noted. Forest Sprite, no happy little accidents. Nope. Crafting Troll retracted a message. I don't know what that's all about. Elves that are called King. Why they made Blood Bowl 2016? Oh yeah. So Alfonso's talking about how they made Blood Bowl and Necromunda because they were going to lose their IP. And communities were taking over the games. So that's why those ones came out again, which is fine because now we have Necromunda, and there's so many cool models for that.
They still haven't done Battlefield Gothic.
I know, what the hell? I guess that one's gone. I guess they lost that IP. I don't know. That would be cool.
And, maybe because they did the video game.
Maybe. Hi, so Ordum say, hi, I'm late to the stream and I have a question. What kind of putty is the white part of the arm? Kajan, my press secretary, is all over it. Epoxy fix it. Chapter House is a mess. Yeah, so I agree with Peter Hampson that Chapter House, like we talked about, like they did some stuff that helped other people, but they were really kind of poking the bear with like using Games Workshop names in all their products. Like at least the other third-party casters and stuff like that, they have the decency to like pretend that they're not just ripping off Games Workshop IP left, right, and center. But like Chapter House was like,
I feel like Chapter House wanted to see how far they could push it.
Could have been. They were like, yeah, it's a Blood Angel. What are you going to do about it? Okay, this arm's a little whack. All right. So I was just dry fitting. I swear I wasn't sculpting. Hope I didn't shove my finger in that. Okay, we're good. All right, where are we? Actually called their Turvagon. Yeah, in there. Peter Hampson. Yeah, their thought was you couldn't copyright this. Oh, okay. Yeah, if things didn't exist, Games Workshop couldn't copyright them. That's what Chapter House was going by. I love how Kajan's like Games Workshop won at least insofar as it seems to have killed the entire third-party bits market. I don't agree, Kajan. There's so many like third-party bits manufacturers. They're not as direct.
Yeah, I think it kind of exploded after the Chapter House thing.
I like that Peter Hampson is making cyclo squigs, like beholders, but for squigs. Because they think the bad moon, the Gloomspite Gits think the bad moon is the Eye of Mork. That's cool. I want to see those. I want to see your beholder cyclo squigs.
Cyclo squigs.
That'd be cool.
I love beholders. They're one of my favorite fantasy
monsters. Oh my god, there's so much shit in here. Isn't that green stuff tendon off center given that he still needs to sculpt on the second half of the claw? It doesn't need to be centered, Kajan. It'll be fine. I was shocked at the new Pride Deathwatch Codas Cassius on the cover, but no mini. Yeah, I guess they'd change that. We can't have a month without a new Primaris model. That's a good point. Oh, we're talking about Space Marines. Fucking Space Marines.
Okay, we're talking about Space Marines. Skip all the comments.
Yep. Kajan says that must be a first. Someone said the 5th edition Codex for Tyranids was good for something other than toilet paper. What the hell? Which one's the 5th edition one? I've got so many Tyranid Codexes here, I can't really...
That was the Robin. I think he's
Wait,
referring to...
2, 3, 4... Is this the 5th edition? Isn't the 5th edition the one that... Yeah, it introduced all the cool shit. Like Death Leaper, Dune of Malantai, Parasite of Montrex, Yamgarl, Gene Stealers. This was the shit, man. If you had a...
Yeah,
if you got an imagination...
The competitiveness of the army was not very
Oh, who cares about competitiveness? I'm just here for the cool Tyranids. Yeah, this was a good one. I don't know, Kajon, you're smoking something. This one was good. Good times. Got boring after that.
I feel like I'm making this up, but I feel like I read something that said, like, Robin Crudis, the guy who wrote that codex, really, really didn't want to do the Tyranid Codex.
Oh.
He wanted to do our codex.
I know people were hating on him, but I didn't really understand why.
Yeah, I never really got the hate for him. I mean, other than like the completely unreasonable, oh, this army codex sucks. You also suck.
Yeah. Actually, Peter Hampson's saying, I'm still mad at the loss of the Parasite of Montrex. At least the Doom of Malantai was given new life by the Neurothrope. I'd say the Doom of Malantai was more epic than the Neurothrope. I'm sad that we missed that one. Oh, bye, Manzak. He left a while ago, I guess. Video about sculpting hands would be awesome. I just can't get those right. Ornim, did you tell me to do a hand sculpt? Are you what the heck is it? Someone on Instagram told me to do a hand sculpting video. So maybe that's Ornim. But yeah, if not, that's a second request for hand sculpting video. And Peter Hampson says yes, so that's good.
I would actually be really... Yeah, I'd like hand sculpting video too, because that's one of the most daunting things for me with the Hierodol Dom conversion is making her hands.
Oh, actually, that one was not that bad, like doing the Tyranid hands, because they're big. Like, you have space to work with, so I could definitely do...
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, well, I could do that. That I can easily show you how to do that, is what I'm trying to say. Doing human hands is smaller and more fiddly, which is not ideal, but doing, like, rending claw hands on a Hierodol, we could do that. Why is this hardening so quickly? So I'm trying to get some... I know, yes, I'm trying to put some purchase points in this putty so it's not just, like, smooth and my shit slides off.
You're going to be like, why is it curing so fast? Shoves thumb into the detail.
Yep, you're right. Just trying to make it... give it some points to grab onto before it fully sets. I thought Fix It was supposed to be the one that took forever to set. Okay, whatever. Oh, we're almost in the comments. Kajan, point one about being my my press secretary. Don't send people to other people's sculpting channels. We'll do the video here. Don't send him elsewhere.
It's okay. It's gotta give him a break.
I know about one company that does third-party bits, and they only do Orc and Space Marines, but nothing Tyranid. No, Kajan, you're not going to get people who do Tyranid bits, because Tyranid bits are complicated. Also, there's probably not a big market for Tyranid bits. The reason those guys are doing Orc bits and doing Space Marine bits is that people want to buy them. Nobody's buying Tyranid bits right now, unfortunately. 5th edition. Okay, Jonas Malhand is back. Thanks for coming back, boyo. We're about to shut this thing down. One that made Pyrovores blow up when receiving a single wound. Kajan, the 5th edition Exploding Pyrovore, I started working on a Pyrovore that was based on a Baneling because of that. So, it was kind of hilarious. That's all they were good for. Tau out-evolved Tyranids? Oh my god, I think Kajan's just, like, ranting here. Okay, I think maybe we're done. Alright. I think we're done. I've done enough on this claw, and I'm really happy with how this part came out. This is all good. This connective tissue is pretty decent. I don't hate the tendon. So that was awesome, because I just planned to reinforce those stabby wires, and now I've got a claw half sculpted. Got to do more here. Got to do more sections here, but that's more progress than I thought I was going to make tonight. And then I'll have to do it on the other side and not completely screw it up on the other side. But you can see the...
very true to the old hell, too.
Oh, the old hell? Or like old One Eye? Or what do you mean?
like your original Hal conversion. The claw shape looks very true to her.
Nice. That's good to hear. I think that when I look at that picture, I think the part at the top here is probably going to wind up. I'm not shoving my finger in something. Because right now I've got this kind of like taper or whatever, but it's probably going to wind up being more bulbous at the top because I think in the sketch it's more bulbous. But I do like this like inner claw section where it tapers into that cutting edge. I think that came out pretty well. Awesome. All right, well, Darth Bob, thanks so much for coming on the stream, man.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It was
I
good
really
to
enjoyed it.
Good. It was good to chat Tyranids with you, and I really appreciate all your help. So
Yeah, no problem.
maybe we'll do it again sometime.
Absolutely. Just let me know.
Sweet. And thanks to everyone in the chat on the stream for showing up, being a part of this. It seemed like a very lively discussion. I'm sorry we weren't right on top of it the whole time, but hopefully y'all had fun chatting with each other. Was really happy to see so many people here, some new faces. Alfonso, glad you showed up. Sorry you had to go back to your essay, buddy. And yeah, we'll do it again same time next week. Although I'm not really sure what to do next week because this is technically the last stream of November, and I was going to be working on Hell for all of November. Maybe I keep working on Hell. I don't know. I really want to finish her, but I know there's also some other stuff that I should probably be working on.
You could do some more work on Dominant.
Yeah, I got to get on the Dominid. Also, there's like this random Xenos project that I'm supposed to be working on ahead of December. So I should probably get to that as well. I don't know. We'll see. But this is coming along really well, and like people have been really jazzed about this project. So I'm really happy about that, and happy to be making some actual progress on her. And this claw seemed really overwhelming, but I don't feel as overwhelmed by it anymore. So that's good. Oh, technically I'm working on the Dom right now because the dude who commissioned the Dom wants it to have crushing claws. So maybe I'm developing the crushing claw design right now. That's what I'm telling myself at least.
It's R&D.
I got my paper prototypes here so I could easily replicate it. Reverse it, one on each side. It's a pretty good crushing claw. I guess, yeah, it could be like knuckle walking on like... Oh, did he say he didn't want a knuckle walker? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Yeah, this is R&D for the Dom.
Mine's a knuckle walker.
It's the way to go. Oh, Jonas Malhan says go back to Kroot. Could do that.
I do love your Kroot stuff. I would not be opposed to that.
I do love my Kroot stuff as well. However, I do... he said finish all your loose ends. I did want to do a month where I just like work on projects that I've gotten halfway through and abandoned, but we'll see.
But part of the joy of having a conversion project is getting halfway through it and then starting a new one.
Exactly. I completely agree.
That's like part of the like core of converting stuff.
Although Jade Finch is saying that I gotta finish the Gun Beast, and I would have to agree. I think I need to finish the friggin' Gun Beast. I think that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, the Gun Beast is cool. And that one's almost done, isn't it?
People keep saying that, and I keep feeling like there's so much to do, but maybe there isn't. Yeah, I should probably just finish the Gun Beast. I hate the legs. I screwed up the positioning, and I gotta fix them, but it's annoying. Anyway, that's what I should do. I'll do the Gun Beast next. Put Hell in the back burner for a bit. All right, that is.
Never forgive you.
What's that?
I said, poor Hal. She will never forgive you.
Hey, she's coming along. I feel like she's like halfway done, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to tell. She'll get done, but I feel like the Gun Beast is more pressing. It's been here for a long time. All right, I'm going to call it. Thank you all so much for being here and for participating. Darth Bob, thank you so much for being on the stream. Hope you all stay safe, stay healthy. If you're in the States, have a good Thanksgiving, but don't see people outside your bubble because that's not good. And yeah, we'll talk soon. I think you should finish the dominatrix given that it's commission. Quiet, Kajan. I'll get to that eventually. I'm doing R&D. We just went over that. All right. See y'all later. I'm going to stop the stream. 3, 2, 1. Bye.